Recently, we were in Costco and we were just walking around shopping and we found a couple of new items that we want to review.
Hey, what's up, family? I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
And welcome back to the channel. Recently, we were in Costco and we were buying some meat and stuff. And whenever we go to Costco, I like to go up and down the aisles and see, are there any other like keto type items that you can utilize other than meat, bacon, cheese, and stuff like that?
I feel like I'm Pac-Man. I'm Mrs. Pac-Man. I'm looking for a crunch because a lot of people say on keto, that's what's really lacking is a texture that is a crunch texture. So a lot of times I'm looking for a snacky type of food. I hate to say the word snack, but really I'm looking for that texture of crunch.
So when it comes to the wholesale clubs, I do find out of the big three of Sam's Club, Costco and BJ's, Costco tends to have the most amount of options for keto-friendly foods. The problem is a lot of them are labeled keto, but they're not very keto.
Yeah.
And one example I like to talk about a lot is a product that's like coconut clusters. And on the front, there's a big label that says keto, but then when you flip it over, the second or third ingredient is sugar.
That really frustrates me because I feel like keto for the most part is pretty straightforward. Like if you're telling somebody, how do I get started on keto? You're going to tell them avoid things like wheat and starchy things like potatoes and rice and avoid sugar. So when I see a product that's labeled keto and any of those things are like the first couple of ingredients or really on the ingredients label at all, that really frustrates me because it shows that the whoever's putting this out does not respect what the real definition of keto is.
Well, what they're doing is they're appealing to the net carb protocol.
Sure.
And also basically gambling on the fact that you don't know what you're looking at. And they just totally go by the carbs. So, for example, those coconut clusters, it'll be like 7 total carbs. So you're going to be like, oh, that's great if you're brand new to keto, because you don't really understand the fact that like the sugar is a problem regardless of the amount of carbs, especially when it's like the second or third ingredient, because you're not even paying attention to what is the serving size of that. Mm-hmm. And so we always like to find things. That's why we like to do these review videos, because sometimes the products are good and sometimes they're bad. And a couple of years ago when we were at Costco in Utah, we found a product that we really liked. It was like 7 Sundays cereal.
Yeah, exactly. And it was delicious. And it was something that provided a great mix-in for our Keto Chow creamy ice creams. It was something that we could top yogurt with when we make our yogurt. And so I'm always on the lookout for something in the granola department because I feel like it can be so versatile.
Well, when we were in the Costco this time, they had that 7 Sundays. And then they changed the ingredients. It had a bunch of sugar. But right next to it, we found this.
Nutrail.
So this is a nut granola from a company called Nutrail.
We've tried this brand before.
Right, but not these. Right. And when we looked at the ingredients, I thought they were really good. So we figured we would pick them up and give them a try. They had 2 different flavors. They had honey nut.
And then this one is blueberry cinnamon.
So you want to go ahead and try them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Which one are we going to try first?
Either way, whichever one.
Okay, well, we'll try this one first.
I really hope it doesn't stink because I would like to have it for our yogurt.
Okay, so that's what it looks like.
Mine's a little darker.
And basically, what I'm seeing in here is just lots of different nuts and seeds. There's flakes of coconut.
See pepita.
There's some pecans, sunflower seeds.
Definitely have some coconut smell to it.
So basically, nuts and seeds is what's in it. So which one are we going with first?
Let's try yours.
Okay. So you're gonna try that.
I'm
gonna try this.
I'm gonna dink ya.
I'm gonna put this back in the bag. Dink.
Dink. Mmm. Wow. That is tasty.
It definitely has a honey flavor.
It does have a honey flavor.
It kind of reminds me of those, like, pecans you get when you go to the mall.
Like
those
candied.
candy covered, like it's got that flavor. I don't remember what the ingredients are. We have not looked at it since we started the video. We just quickly glanced in the store.
It's got a good sweetener to it. I taste a little bit of a cooling effect, which makes me think erythritol. But it's not like unnerving.
It's not horrible, but
No.
I definitely do taste that sweetener.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead with this one. This is the blueberry
This is
cinnamon.
the blueberry cinnamon. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't... Oh, wait. Here, wait. Get a blueberry in there. Because I was going to say, I don't see blueberries. There's a blueberries.
Now, this one is more like a put-together granola.
Yeah.
So you can see, like, there's pieces almost like there's a sugar or something holding the granola together. Are you ready?
Dink. Mmm. Wow. It has like a really, like a deeper flavor.
I like that one better.
It's because it's got the little burst of blueberry that's like freeze-dried in it.
I'm not getting a lot of blueberry flavor, but
getting just
a
enough.
little bit.
I'm getting
and
just
definitely
enough.
get the cinnamon flavor.
Wow.
You want to do 5 things?
5 things.
5 things. So if you're new to our channel, we review all products based on 5 things. We're going to talk about the ingredients. Does it keto based on the nutrition label? How does it taste? How much does it cost? And finally, would we recommend it? I should start off by saying we bought these with our own money. They were not supplied. We have no affiliation with them at all. We just picked them up and bought them because if they're good, we want to tell you about them. And if they're bad,
we want to tell you about them.
So we're going to start off with number 1, the ingredients. So I have the blueberry one.
Okay.
Sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, coconut, almonds, pecans, erythritol.
There you go.
Butter, which is made from pasteurized cream, natural flavor, dried blueberries, cinnamon, salt, and monk fruit extract. That's it.
So mine is exactly the same, except for obviously I don't have blueberries, and also there is no cinnamon in this one. So if you're somebody with a cinnamon allergy, it's gonna be the honey nut is gonna be a better option for you.
Okay, so number 2, does it keto based on a nutrition label?
Okay, so let's take a look at that. So a serving size is 1/3 of a cup. The calories are 160. There's 14 grams of fat, 4 grams of protein, and 9 total carbohydrates.
So this one is 160 calories, 15 grams of fat, 4 grams of protein, 9 total carbohydrates. Also 3 grams of dietary fiber and 4 grams of sugar alcohols, which would be your erythritol.
So this one, it's the same, thing. So they're going to tell you that a serving is 1 net carb, and we are going to tell you just count the total carbs. It's good. This is delicious. This is not something that's absolutely necessary for the nutrition in your life. This is fun. This is entertaining. So you really want to stick to the serving size, and you want to count those total carbs.
Yeah, and a lot of times I'll say, like, listen, like if they're fibers that God made, like in nuts and seeds, you can go ahead and deduct them. I'm generally okay with not counting a lot of sugar alcohols. But the problem is when it comes to something sweet like this,
Sure.
it's going to be very easy to overdo. And you go by, it's got 1 net carb or 2 net carbs, you're going to be like, okay, I can have 2 or 3 servings.
Right.
And now you're going to end up kind of taking away from the nutrition that you would get from like meat and eggs and things like that to add more of this in. And you're not going to have a shutoff valve for this. And the next thing you know, you're going to be consuming like 40 or 50 total carbs of just this. So I really do beg you to, consume it. The ingredients are really good, but I would count total carbs. Even if you do a double serving, that would still only put you at about 18 total carbs. And if the rest of your diet for the day is meat, eggs, maybe a little bit of yogurt, something like that, you're going to be perfectly fine. I always feel like it's better to count the carbs and have your body not use them than to not count them and then find out your body was using them.
Exactly. So that takes us to number 3.
And that is, how do they taste? I think they taste really good.
I think they taste really, really good. I'm with Joe. I do think that the blueberry one is especially delicious. I think that the blueberry adds a lot, but if you were to add some dried strawberries or fresh strawberries or blueberry slices to this, you're going to have the same kind of outcome because the base nut and seeds combination and the sweetener that they have is really nice.
Yeah, I think they taste really good. Even though it's using erythritol, I don't have any cooling effect with this one. Maybe the cinnamon is counteracting it. That one, there's a tiny bit, but it's not bad. My only real complaint would be I wish they would use allulose. I think allulose would be perfect. It would actually tone down the sweetness a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think allulose is a better sweetener. So number 4, how much do they cost?
So we paid, I believe, $15 a bag
Yes.
for each of these. So each one was like $14.99 at our Costco. Now we do know that they run sales. Prices vary, I find, across the nation. So maybe yours will be a little bit different if you go into Costco and found it today. But that's what we paid for each bag. But this was a very respectable size.
Yeah, there's
bag.
a lot in here.
Yeah.
So number 5, would we recommend it?
I definitely would. I think it's really nice. Now, for me, I've been keto for quite some time now. And so sweet things, I can tone down the sweetness a little bit and be happier. So this is going to be something that I'm really going to use with something like our thick Greek yogurt, which kind of is going to stretch that sweetness out. So I'm not going to be somebody that like puts this on top of something, you know, like a lot of strawberries or something like that that's just going to add more sweetness, because it's pretty sweet for me. But I definitely think it's something delicious. I think it's portable, which is really nice. So if you have little kids or you're packing a lunch, this is definitely something that you can, you know, kind of meal prep and take with you places.
I would recommend it, but the one thing I would say is, even though they call it a granola and we generally associate granola with cereal, like for breakfast, I would not consume this as a breakfast. First of all, a third of a cup, it's not going anywhere.
Right.
Like, nobody is going to have a third of a cup of this and go, ooh, that was delicious.
But if you use it like as a topper for a salad or something,
a little bit of a crunch, something
nice.
like that, I think it's good. Because even back to the breakfast idea, let's say you did two servings. That would be 2/3 of a cup, which still isn't a lot.
Right.
Now you're up to about, 320 calories. You've got 30 grams of fat. You've got 18 total carbohydrates with only 8 grams of protein. I think you're better off eating a couple of eggs and then having 1 serving of this on the side with maybe a little bit of yogurt, or just as a little bit of a crunch, like have your eggs, some bacon, and then a little handful of this on your plate that you can kind of pick at.
Me too.
The only other thing I would say is, I think it could be dangerous if you just have it sitting around, just like nuts in general, where every time you walk into the kitchen, you grab a handful, and the next thing you know, you've consumed the entire bag in like a couple of days.
One of the things, because this does have a like resealable bag, one of the things that has helped me, if I'm not going to portion it out and store things in all of like little tiny portions, what I will do is put a scooper of the size. So I'm going to find a 1/3 cup measuring cup, and I'm going to just put it right in the bag.
Yeah.
And then that reminds me when I go to get some out, like what is a proper serving for this particular item.
So let us know down in the comment section, have you tried this granola from Costco? And are there any other ones that you know about that we haven't tried that we should? Like I said, I was really pleased the first time we tried that 7 Sundays, and then to see they've changed the ingredients on the one that's at least in Costco was kind of upsetting, but it was nice that they had this one sitting right next to that. So let us know down in the comment section. Now, if you like seeing videos like this, take a look at the video we have linked right over there. Also, make sure you take a look at our most recent video that I'm going to put right over here.
But whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way. Subscribe to our channel and click the little bell icon, and that way every single time we try something new, you'll be alerted to it.
Until next time.
Bye.